Hey guys.
Gandalf is back.
Fuck, what happened there?
I had a little bit. I liked a little bit.
Fuck.
I liked a little bit. Gandalf is back with Tarja on a song, and it's called "Left on Mars." You know, before we start with this, before we check out this video, before we check out this song, let me just say this. You know, remember the "Bye Bye Beautiful"?
Yeah.
We went from "Bye Bye Beautiful" to "Hello Good Looking," which proves the point that there's a time and there's a time, and you know what was broken at one point now has been put back together. I love that people are able to grow through their changes, to understand each other maybe a little bit better, because at sometimes you're unable to see where the other person is coming from because you're just not able to walk in their shoes.
You're right.
And
it took me like 2 seconds to realize what you were saying, but no.
Because you know what I equate this to? I equate this to when Ice Cube left NWA. When Ice Cube left NWA, the whole band made like diss songs about the guy. He made diss songs about No Vaseline. He made diss songs about them. There's one on the NWA album that I can't say the name. It's called Message to Benedict Arnold. For those of you that know American history, you know who Benedict Arnold was, and they were referring to Ice Cube as being Benedict Arnold. So anyways, and then afterwards, you see other guys from the band leaving, specifically Dr. Dre. He left because he realized what Ice Cube had realized earlier. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he didn't realize that at that same... They didn't reach the same point of understanding the position that they were in simultaneously.
But they
both got there, just they got there at different times. And then both left the band. Then they became friends again and reunited and whatever. So I kind of see this situation a little bit like that situation. That sometimes you realize something before the other people who are around you realize that exact same thing. And I'm not saying that the two of them left Nightwish for the same reasons. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is that sometimes you don't realize certain situations and you judge others, wrongfully because you're coming from a different angle and you're coming from a different perspective. But time, like they say, is the best healer. And once you start to perhaps see things a little bit different, then the beef that you had with somebody is no longer a beef, and now you understand their position a little bit better. There's a little bit more compassion. There's a little bit more understanding, and maybe you look back on some things that you said and some things that you did, and you look a little bit foolish. Just saying. That's how I see this whole story. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm entitled to have my perception on the story.
Even if it's wrong.
Even if it's wrong, but it's my interpretation and it's my perception as an outside person looking in. I feel like I have the right to have that opinion, regardless of being right or wrong. And I equate it to that NWA Ice Cube thing. I think there's a lot of similarities between the two. Anyways, Left on Mars, which is probably where they feel like they were left. Maybe I'm reading too much into this.
Yeah.
But are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Fuck, think the tech on drums?
There was a child climbing a hill on a winter's night, face up to space above and taken by the sight. Time slowed down under the blessing
There's a lot of hidden messages in this song.
Funny, the end of the song kind of looks like a Star Wars, like the end of a Star Wars.
Yeah, the when Luke is the planet where Luke grew up
Yeah.
and whatever.
That's what kind of looks like.
Yeah. So
Is he the Master Jedi?
yeah. So anyhow, let me just start off by saying this before we talk about the song. I know it'll never happen. I know this will never happen. But I would love to sit down with Marko to do an interview and be one of those like 20 minutes interview. I don't mean 20 minutes in length. I mean the interviews that 20 minutes does.
Oh.
Like one of those Barbara Walters interviews where you hold nothing back and you talk about all the
So
uncomfortable.
the Cat William one.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like
That one where he was like taking shots at everybody.
yeah. But that was not with Barbara Walters because she's not black. He went to
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp's podcast. Maybe he's the Barbara Walters of black people. I don't know. Like what the fuck do I know? I don't pretend to dab. So anyhow, I would love to sit down with Marko and have a Barbara Walters style interview where I get to ask him so many questions, but hopefully get honest answers from him about those difficult questions that, one person maybe would say it's none of your business and it's none of our business. But the point of doing an interview sometimes is to ask uncomfortable questions for us to get to the bottom of some things that, regardless of being our business or not, is in the back of your mind and will always be in the back of your mind.
Of course.
So, like, when she left the band, like, what was the feeling at that time? What was the emotion? Like, I have so many questions to ask about three key points, right? When she left the band, when he left the band, and now the two of them coming back together and doing songs together and touring together. Because I feel like there are lessons to be learned from all three.
Yeah.
And I think there are stories there that are not being told that need to be told for one reason. And I'm not trying to dig up dirt on anybody. That's not the point. But the point is to know more. It's not about the dirt that you could dig up, but rather to understand the mindset of the individual and to see how much evolution they've had as individuals, more so than as musicians throughout all of these difficult times. Because believe it or not, those were difficult times.
Yeah.
Her leaving and him leaving, it's not easy decisions for anybody to make, and it's not easy things to deal with. And when you've been in the band for so long, it's not easy to leave. And for those that have had you in the band for so long, it's not easy to see you go. Mm-hmm. So I would love to have that Barbara Walters moment with Marko and sit down and ask all of those perhaps uncomfortable questions, but questions that I feel like a lot of people would like to hear the answer to. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I'm sure if I get an interview with him, that would be the first thing they would say. Don't ask any of those questions.
Yeah. Also, I feel like you'd be the last person who'd be telling that shit to.
Well, I think actually I would be a good person to talk to, because I have no skin in the game. First of all, I don't belong to any established media outlet that would have a specific interest in pushing a certain agenda one way or another.
Very true.
For clicks, for monetary reasons and all of that stuff. So I think if you're going to talk to somebody, I think you want to talk to somebody who doesn't have any skin in the game, who's just trying to understand things from more of a personal standpoint, and who's going to give you a platform for you to really say how you feel without you feeling necessarily obligated to go in one direction or obligated to go in a different direction.
You go in your direction.
One of the reasons why Jasper formerly from In Flames, currently from The Halo Effect, he reached out to me I think a year ago or something like that, and he just wanted to pour out his heart about everything that he's gone on in his life, and we talked for like an hour and a half. And he felt comfortable because of the reasons that I just said.
Yeah, was in the game,
Yeah. And I'm just a friend and somebody who you're opening up to and you're talking to. And then other people get to hear that conversation that would have been a one-on-one conversation.
When you're doing an interview with you compared to like a label interview.
Or even a
magazine, whatever it is, when he's talking to you, he's talking to basically you and me,
and somebody who enjoys the music and cares for them as artists.
Exactly.
I'm not just doing a job.
Exactly. But when he's talking to someone from a magazine or a label or whatever for
there's always something else, and
but he's never really talking to that person. He's always talking to the conglomerate behind that person. There's no conglomerate behind
and the other aspect that a lot of people may not know is that a lot of these big magazines When you see a review posting there, or when you see these things, they're paid for by the label. Not all the time. I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of the time, certain reviews are paid by the label for the band to get a good review on the album, or for an article to be written about them. It's not just showing up in these magazines because there's an interest to hear something about them. A lot of the times, things that you see in magazines are there because somebody paid it to be there, which is outside of the Patreon request videos, nobody pays us to be on the channel. We just put whoever we want and we talk to whoever we want. So,
Sure.
outside of the Patreon requests, because those get paid to be there, but we're still honest about them anyhow. So now that I got that out of the way, I just felt like I needed to say that. What do you think about this song "Left on Mars"? I feel like lyrically there's a lot to unpack, but it's very subliminal.
Yeah, but I just feel like, as a song, going from a musical's perspective, beautiful song. It's a very nice song. They build off each other so well. It's like the good old days.
Sounds like something out of his last solo record.
It does.
Very rock.
Very rock. It feels really good. Like, I like his music. He makes very good music for the soul.
He's a great musician.
For the soul. Like, he makes music for the soul. He makes metal soul music. Instead of just like soul food. That's where my brain.
Oh, you're going back to the Barbara Walters.
Yeah, okay. And the Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
But yeah, like, I love his music because it's a feel good moment whenever you can listen to a song from him, and having her there, them building off of each other, the duet, the whole thing, it's great. I love it. The rock, everything, even the solo, everything was really, really good. Like musically, the song is very well put together.
Yeah, but I always feel like when I listen to his solo stuff, I always feel, even to a certain degree to the Taro stuff that he did, I always feel like the music is really created to set up space for the vocals to be a little bit more on the forefront and to have a pedestal.
Yeah, and for the lyrics to
have an impact. Yeah.
Right? So I feel like, as much as I can give props to the music, what the music really is that
it's just an avenue.
Yeah,
it's just a means to an
end. It's that one-way road for him to strafe down and have those lyrics, not only the voice, but the lyrics come across in a way where it's very, like, it's innuendos, but you know what he's talking about. Like, it's almost like he's telling you exactly what he's talking about.
Without saying it.
Without saying it.
Yeah.
Like, you're on the same. You become on the same wavelength as him.
The other factor that I like about this song, when you consider the collaboration between the two, is that musically is very different from the collaborations that they did together when they were in the band together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, if this song was very symphonic, it would feel almost like a spin-off of what they did when they were together in Nightwish. So having this song be a little bit more rock, almost like doom rock to a certain degree. It's a very mellow, like, easy listening rock song. So when you have this sound and you have two incredible vocalists, because you can say whatever you want. I mean, they are like two outstanding vocalists. And on this song, I don't feel like necessarily it's a song that allows both of them to really go and showcase everything that they can do vocally. But I don't think it's about that anyways. It's rather about creating a sound that allows them to collaborate with one another and have great chemistry with one another, and really putting forward more of emotion than necessarily ability. It's not about, this is what we can do vocally. No, this is about us expressing some emotions that are built within the two of us, and now being back together, it's a way for us to kind of like, there's a little bit of healing in this song. That's what I'm trying to say. And the sound was created in order for that healing to be in the forefront. Because they could easily have made this song super bombastic, with Tarja going over the top with her voice, with him hitting some of those high notes that he can also do. They can do a lot more than what they did in this song. But what they did in this song is they brought the emotional level all the way to the front, and I think that's what the track is all about. That's my take.
Very emotional track.
Yeah, it's so not somber, but there's like such a Finnish melancholy in this rock track.
When you listen to the lyrics, knowing somewhat of the situation, and then also going off of your thesis.
My thesis.
Or theory.
My conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. Like, a lot of stuff play into whatever you really thought about
if you think about them, at one point in time, they probably both felt like they were from Mars. because they felt so isolated in an island on their own. I almost feel like they felt alone, surrounded by friends, if that makes any sense. And so that feeling, it's almost feeling like you're an alien. It almost feels like you are from Mars. That you feel a complete disconnect with those that are around you, and maybe bringing them together, the two bringing together, they both realized that the feelings that we both had was not isolated to just me. No, you have the same. You experience the same thing. I experience the same. So there's a little bit of compassion when you find somebody who's going through the same
the
thing.
emotion you really get through this song is it's not only sadness but understanding.
Yeah. Empathy.
Empathy.
I think empathy is the perfect word to describe it. Anyways, guys, this is it for this one. Hit us up in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts on this latest from Marko. This great collaboration. We're dying to hear what you got to say, what your conspiracy theories are, and we'll see you all at the next one.
See ya.